Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful BNB spoilers update for Monday, July 14th reveals that John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Navlin will struggle over Luna Natsua's Lisa Yamada death, while Liam Spencer Scott Clifton faces a scary medical setback. Over with Liam. It looks like he has an unsettling medical setback in his future. Liam will require another surgery as soon as possible. So, Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, will face a difficult waiting game as Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, takes action in the OR. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Bill will get some difficult tumor updates in the coming episodes and will take matters into his own hands regarding Liam's care. So, don't miss all the twists and turns ahead. The corridors of University Hospital were eerily quiet, almost as if the walls themselves were holding their breath in anticipation of a storm that was about to erupt. Bill Spencer stood motionless just outside the surgical suite, his fists clenched and jaw rigid with tension. His normally assertive demeanor was clouded with dread. Inside that cold, sterile room was his son, Liam Spencer, unconscious and hooked up to machines, his life hanging in the balance. A sudden relapse in Liam's condition had sent the medical team into a whirlwind, but something in Bill's gut told him this wasn't just a medical misfortune. It was something far more sinister. Just days ago, Liam had been recovering well after emergency surgery for a rare brain tumor that had been discovered following a collapse at Forrester Creations. Doctor had led the operation, which had gone off without a hitch. Lee Finnegan, but her unexpected absence had left the surgical unit in the hands of Dr. Grace Buckingham. Grace had stepped in with self-assurance, assuring Bill and the family that she had the knowledge to lead Liam through this recovery and any subsequent procedures. But as Liam's condition began to deteriorate inexplicably, nausea, memory lapses, sudden seizures, and now this emergency reoperation, Bill started to question everything. While Grace exuded charm and confidence, Bill had always trusted his instincts. And right now, his instincts were screaming. Something about her demeanor was off, and the timing of Liam's setback seemed all too coincidental. Steffi Forrester had attempted to reassure him, citing stress, surgical complications, and other clinical causes. But Bill wasn't buying it anymore. Not when he saw how Grace subtly shooed away nurses from Liam's private room. Not when she insisted on personally handling his medication regimen. Not when she gave a cryptic smile just before entering the OR. Enough, Bill muttered to himself and pulled out his phone. He scrolled past Rydage's number, past Katie's, and stopped at a name that hadn't crossed his mind in months. Dr. Alan Armstrong, a brilliant but unconventional diagnostician who had helped Bill's friend years ago during a corporate espionage case involving a biotech company. If anyone could get to the bottom of what was happening with Liam, it was Dr. Armstrong. Bill didn't hesitate. He called Alan. "It's Bill. Spencer. I need your help now. It's my son. He's in surgery again, and I think someone's trying to kill him." After a brief pause, a quiet but insistent voice replied, "Send me everything. I'll be on the next flight." Hours passed like slow drops of tar. Bill moved quickly through the hospital corridors like a caged animal. Lastly, Dr. Armstrong arrived. Tall, sharp-eyed, and flanked with a leather satchel full of diagnostic gear. He was not your typical doctor. Where others followed protocols, Armstrong followed patterns, hidden ones within minutes, he was at Liam's bedside in recovery, examining charts and discreetly collecting samples. He questioned nurses, reviewed surveillance logs, and examined Liam's force setup with the scrutiny of a forensic analyst. What he discovered chilled him to the bone. "Bill," he said quietly, motioning him into a private consultation room. "You had good reason to call me. I tested the 4 fluids administered to Liam over the past 48 hours. There's a compound in them that shouldn't be there. A neurotoxic derivative, slow acting, difficult to trace. It mimics tumor growth symptoms. Whoever's doing this isn't trying to kill him quickly. They're trying to make it look like his condition is worsening naturally." Bill's face turned pale. "So Liam's tumor isn't coming back?" Armstrong shook his head. "No, the imaging you were shown was doctored. I checked the originals. The tumor site is clean, but someone wanted you to believe Liam needed another surgery and then made sure it would go wrong." Bill's rage surged. "She is poisoning my son," he thundered, slamming his hand against the wall. "Grace, it's her." Armstrong nodded gravely. "She had access and motive." Motive. Bill's mind began to race. What possible reason would Grace have to target Liam? She wasn't a part of their world. No resentments, no disagreements over business, unless someone else had planned this. Someone who could manipulate a disgraced doctor in need of redemption. Someone with secrets. That's when the pieces started clicking together. Grace had lost her medical license years ago in another state over a questionable patient death, but had it reinstated quietly after she moved to Los Angeles. Bill's team hadn't vetted her because the hospital did, but her background was filled with shadows. Zoe, her daughter, was once engaged to Carter, but ended up spiraling after scandal. Could this be about revenge, about status, or was it something even darker? As Bill digested the truth, Grace stepped out of the OR, pulling off her gloves and surgical mask. She looked composed, but her eyes flickered when she saw Bill standing with Armstrong. Bill didn't even wait for a greeting. He charged toward her. "What the hell did you do to my son?" he barked. Grace blinked. "Excuse me." "You're not fooling anyone. The drugs, the fictitious tumor, reports you're trying to kill him." Grace paused but tried to recover. "That's absurd. You need to calm down." "No, you need to get ready for prison." Armstrong cut in. "We've already turned your medication logs over to the hospital board and the State Medical Association. I've also contacted the police. You won't get near Liam again." Finally, the mask fell off. Grace's eyes darkened, and a venomous sneer twisted her face. "You think you're so clever," she spat at Bill. "You rich, arrogant bastard. You think you can buy everything, even your son's life." "Why?" Bill demanded. "Why, Liam?" Grace's laugh was bitter. "Because he took something from me. Your kind of family kills people and moves on, as if nothing happened." Zoe lost everything because of Forrester gossip and power games. "I lost my credibility, my future. Someone had to feel that pain. You were going to kill him for that." Bill hissed. "I was going to humble you," she ceded, "make you watch him fall, and you would have thanked me for saving him at the end." The perfect irony. Grace attempted to flee just as security arrived. She didn't get far. Armstrong handed over the evidence, and within minutes she was escorted away in handcuffs, her surgical privileges revoked on the spot. Bill watched in silent fury as she was dragged out, every fiber of his being aching with the fury of a father who had come inches from losing his child. Later that night, as Liam slowly regained consciousness, he blinked up at the familiar face hovering above him. Dad, he rasped. Bill leaned in, gripping his hand. You're okay, son. You're safe. She can't hurt you anymore. Liam frowned, still dazed. What happened? Bill exchanged a glance with Armstrong before answering. Gently. You didn't relapse. Grace, she was poisoning you, presenting false symptoms, trying to make it look like your tumor was back. Liam's face twisted. In confusion, horror, then a chilling realization. She was always there in the room when I felt worse. Bill nodded. It's over now. Armstrong uncovered everything. You're in good hands. The hands on the right. The days that followed were filled with healing and reckoning. The hospital conducted a full internal investigation. Grace's name became front-page news. Her downfall, shocking the medical community. Stuffy and Hope visited often, torn between tears and gratitude. Even Ridge, stunned by the betrayal within their circle, vowed to push for stricter hospital oversight. All that mattered to Bill, however, was that Liam had survived. Sitting by his son's bedside one quiet evening, Bill reflected on how close he'd come to losing everything. If he hadn't made that decision, he wouldn't have trusted his instincts. Liam stirred beside him. Thanks, Dad, he whispered, eyes still heavy with exhaustion. For saving my life. Bill looked into his son's eyes as he held on to his son's hand. Always. That's what fathers do. Yet, even as peace returned to the Spencer family, trouble still brewed in the shadows. Because Grace, now locked away and stripped of her license, wasn't acting alone. Her cryptic warning to Bill as she was dragged away lingered in his mind. This was never just about Liam. You don't even know the real target. And in a secret corner of Los Angeles, another figure reviewed files, photos, and medical documents, the real puppet master behind the curtain, watching, waiting, planning. Because in the world of the bold and the beautiful, even justice is just another beginning. In the days that followed Grace Buckingham's dramatic arrest and Liam's miraculous recovery, the atmosphere at the hospital remained tense. Whispers of the scandal spread like wildfire through every hallway and waiting room, and no one staff or patient was immune to the ripples of fear and betrayal. For Bill Spencer, however, the nightmare was far from over. Grace's final words before being escorted out, this was never just about Liam, occurred while Liam was stabilizing under new medical supervision and custody. You don't even know who the real target is, remained in his thoughts. It gnawed at him, even in moments of relative peace. He tried to shake it off, chalking it up to the twisted ramblings of a disgraced doctor, clinging to power. But Bill hadn't built an empire by ignoring red flags. And now, with Liam resting quietly and Steffi and Hope taking turns sitting at his bedside, Bill found himself wandering to the hospital's rooftop, phone in hand, a call already ringing through to Justin Barber. I need you to investigate Grace Buckingham in depth. Not just her, but anyone she's been in contact with the last 6 months. Phone records, bank statements, the works. She said this wasn't just about Liam. I need to know who else might be involved. You got it, boss. Justin replied with calm precision. And Bill, if she had help, we'll find them. Bill hung up, but that lingering unease remained. He looked out over the Los Angeles skyline, the city, bathed in sunset gold, and promised himself that if there were more enemies lurking in the shadows, he would drag every last one of them into the light. Meanwhile, back in Liam's room, Dr. Alan Armstrong stood beside a set of monitors, reviewing updated blood work and test results. The poison was slowly Exiting Liam's system, and the signs were encouraging. Restored cognitive responses, better motor function, and no sign of tumor regrowth. As Armstrong flipped through Liam's prior lab records, he noticed something curious. A name scribbled in a margin that didn't match the signature of any of the hospital's licensed pathologists. Dr. Arvance, he muttered. Who the hell is that? A quick search in the hospital's internal